You spend some time in the book talking about the role of the media, and I think it's probably worth injecting that part of the conversation in here, because certainly a lot of the misperceptions, perhaps some of the hoaxes and the myths are either deliberately perpetrated by them, or in the case of the median price to median income ratio, just sort of perhaps repeated in a non-sophisticated way. So talk to us about the role of the media in this whole conversation.
Yeah, well, I think we need to really recognize the media's job is not to inform people about the world. The media's job is to sell advertising. And just like we spoke about earlier, right, there's a bit of audience capture there. People want to be outraged. And so if you go back just 7 or 8 years, the headlines in Sydney were double whammy for investors, prices and rents both falling in these suburbs, right? You go forward 6 months and it's like suburbs where prices are outpacing the median, right? I'm like, it doesn't matter what happens in housing, there's going to be a suburb that's going worst and going best. Now, however you describe this, right? Because, sometimes we talk as if lower prices are better when we're talking about affordability. And then sometimes we talk as if lower prices are bad when we're talking about investment, right? We don't even know, but we can write the same story any which way for our audience. Lower prices, which suburbs are most affordable for young buyers? Falling prices, which suburbs are investors getting whacked in this, terrible property market? It doesn't actually matter at all, right? Because Bunnings has their ad there, right? Realestate.com has their ad there, and people are going to, click on it and go, oh yeah, maybe I need a new patio or a new bloody bit of hardware, or, do a renovation. So for me, the media has this weird interest. Like just a couple of years ago, we started calling it a first home buyer crisis, right? Will young people ever buy their own homes again? And I've had to tell so many journalists that first home buying is abnormally high still in 2024 compared to the second half of the 2010s. I had to tell them during COVID, we had record first home buying, not record declines in first home buying. And the reason that it seems harder in 2023, 24 is because all those people already bought a home during COVID. They brought forward it because housing became affordable for them to buy. So, I even had a journalist the other day send me some charts and say, what do you make of this? Sydney prices doing this, wages doing this. I had to sit them down and say, do you know the wage index is not the household income? It's a price index for the wage of the same job. But since COVID, we've all changed jobs and got incomes in other ways. And so you actually want to use a different number. And also, you've only included detached houses in your chart and not apartments. And in Sydney, apartments are the majority of homes. So you should include that as well. And they did that, and the whole story unraveled. But, they kind of juiced it up to get it out there anyway and get the outrage machine going. So this, it's a relentless thing, and it's become a sort of major part of my week, talking to journalists and trying to give them some context on housing, that prices just don't magically go up and go down. Rents don't magically just do this. There are greater economic and market constraints, and we are living within them, and we've got to know what to expect.
I will say this about investing. Everything you do learn is cumulative. What I learned at 20 is useful.